Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and in today's tutorial we are going to be making our hippo teething rattle. This would be a really great gift for a baby shower or for your own baby. This is going to be a two-part series. The first part is going to focus on making the head, the eyes and the eye detail, and the nostrils. Part 2 is going to include the ears, the teething ring wrap, attaching it all together, and adding the final flower as an optional add-on. So let's gather our supplies and get started. So we're going to gather our supplies first. So for today's project, I'm going to be using this rainbow cotton yarn. It is a size 2 fine yarn, and I'm going to be using the color pink for my color A yarn. And then we're also going to need, there's an optional flower that you can put on the hippo's head. So if you do want to do that, I'm going to be using this paint box yarn cotton in this off-white color for the petals and this yellow color for the middle of the flower. We're also going to need a crochet hook. I'm going to be using this 2.5mm crochet hook. Now, I personally like to use a really small hook for my amigurumi with cotton yarn, only because I find that it makes the holes really tiny so you don't see your stuffing through it. But just use whatever hook your specific yarn suggests or whatever you like to use. We'll also need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, a stitch marker, and then for the actual teething ring, we will need the wooden ring. We will need the rattles, if you'd like to put rattles in, some safety eyes, and some fiber fill. And once we've gathered all of our supplies, we can get started. The stitches that you will need to complete this project are a magic ring, a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, a slip stitch, an increase stitch, and a decrease stitch. All right, so to begin, we are going to start with the head, and we are going to start with the snout on the head. So to start for round 1, we are going to make a slip knot. Insert our hook here, and we are going to chain 8. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. Now we're going to skip this first stitch, and into the second chain here from our hook, we're going to place an increase stitch. So an increase stitch is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Next, for the next 5 chains across, we're going to just place 1 single crochet across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. Next, in the 7th chain here, in the last chain, because we skipped one, we're going to place 1 more increase. So 2 single crochets in 1. So 1, 2, and that is the top of row 2. Now we want to start working in a round. So we're going to crochet along the bottom of these chain stitches as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip our work upside down. And as you can see the bottom of each of these chain stitches, and those are the stitches that we're going to be working into along the bottom. Now I like to weave in or crochet over my yarn tail so that I don't have to weave it in at the end. So I'm just going to pull my yarn tail over here. Okay, so to begin, I've just inserted here my hook under the bottom of this last chain we just worked on the top. I'm into the bottom loop now, and I'm going to yarn over and grab my yarn over and pull through to create one single crochet. Now we're going to go right back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through for an increase. Next, we're going to go into the next 5 chains on the bottom, and we're going to place one single crochet. So insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and I'm just crocheting right over top of my yarn tail. That's 2. 3, 4, 5, and then in this very last chain space here on the bottom of this chain here, we're going to place an increase stitch. So 2 stitches in one. And that is round 1 and 2 completed. So now we are working in a circle around. All right, so once you have row 2 completed, you're going to want to place your stitch marker. Now I personally like to use a scrap piece of yarn as my stitch marker, but you can use whatever works best for you. But I just place my stitch marker right in front of the current stitch I'm on, the very last stitch of that round, so that I know where my rounds start and stop. Next, we're going to move on to row 3. So for row 3, we're going to start off with 2 increased stitches. So we're going to insert our hook under this first stitch. Now, I crochet quite tightly, so sometimes I have a hard time getting into my stitches, especially at the beginning. So we're going to do one single crochet, and then we're going to go right back in and do one more. And then we're going to do another increase stitch right next door into this next stitch. So insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's 1, and then we'll do one more. Next, we're going to place 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to place 3 increase stitches along the edge here. So increase in the first one here. So there's 1, and we need one more in that same stitch. And then into the next stitch, we'll do another increase. One, 2, and then into the next stitch as well, we'll do another increase. Just like that. Then we're going to place 6 more single crochets along this top edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in this very last stitch here, we're going to place 1 more increase stitch. So 2 single crochets in 1. And that is the end of round 3. Moving on to round 4, we're going to do the combination increase in 1 stitch and single crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that twice. So increase and a single crochet in the next, increase, 1, 2, and a single crochet in the next. Just like that. Then we're going to single crochet 6 across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to do that same combination of increase single crochet 3 times. So increase and then a single crochet. That's 1. Increase and a single crochet. That's 2. 1 more, increase and a single crochet. That's 3. Then we're going to do 6 single crochets along the side here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to 1 more time do an increase single crochet combination. So increase, single crochet. Now that is the end of row 4, and you should have 30 stitches at the end of this row. Just going to move my stitch marker up, and then we're going to move on to row 5. So for row 5, we're going to start off with the combination increase, single crochet 2, and we're going to repeat that twice. So increase, so 2 stitches in 1, and then 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches, like 1 in each stitch. So that's 1 time. We're going to repeat that again. Increase and 2 single crochets. Just like that. We're then going to do our 6 single crochets across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to do the combination again, increase, single crochet 2, and we're going to do that 3 times. So increase, and then 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, so that's 1. So we'll increase, and 2 single crochets, and that's 2, and we'll do one more, increase, and 2 single crochets, that's 3. Then 6 along the edge here, 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then again we're going to do one more combination of increase single crochet 2 to end off this row. So increase and then 2 single crochets. And that is row 5 completed. Moving on to row 6, we're going to start with the combination increase and 3 single crochets, and we're going to repeat that twice. So increase, so 2 and 1, then 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, that's once. We'll do one more, increase, and 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. Then we will do our 6 single crochets along the edge again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then again, we're going to do our increase single crochet 3 times. So increase, single crochet 3, 1, 2, 3. That's once. We'll do that again. Increase, single crochet 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's 2. So one more. Increase, single crochet 3. That's 3. Now we'll do our 6 single crochets across the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we'll do our combination again of increase single crochet 3. So increase and then 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and that is row 6 completed. All right, moving on to row 7, we are going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. We currently have 42 stitches around, so we're just doing single crochet 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and that is row 7 completed. This is what we're looking like thus far with our snout. Now moving on to row 8, we're going to start decreasing our stitches down. So for our beginning, we're going to do the combination decrease, single crochet 3. Now for the decrease, you're going to want to do an invisible decrease, especially with smaller yarn, so you don't get any gapping in your stitches. So to do an invisible decrease, we're going to insert our hook under the front loop of the first stitch here, and then we're going to insert it under the next stitch front loop. So you have 2 front loops on your hook with your working yarn. Yarn over and pull through those 2 front loops. Yarn over and pull through that 1 decrease stitch. Then we're going to place 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do that again. So decrease, so front loop, yarn over, pull through both those loops, yarn over, pull through, and then 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now it's called an invisible decrease because you really can't even tell where your decrease is, and that's exactly what we want. We want it to look all cohesive and the same. So now we're going to place 6 single crochets in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to repeat that combination of decrease, single crochet 3, and we're going to repeat that 3 times. So decrease, single crochet 3, 1, 2, 3, so that's 1, decrease, single crochet 3, that's 2, we'll do 1 more, decrease, and single crochet 3, 1, 2, 3. Next we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1, 2. Then we're going to do 4 increase stitches in the next 4 stitches. So increase, which is 2 and 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 increases. And then to end off this row, we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And that is row 8 complete. All right, moving on to row 9. We're going to start off with the combination decrease, single crochet 2, and we're going to do that twice. So decrease, and then 2 single crochets, 1, 2, that's once. Do that one more time, decrease, and single crochet 2, 1, 2. Then we're going to place 6 single crochets along this edge here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to do that decrease single crochet 2 3 times again. So decrease, single crochet 2, 1, 2, and that's once. We're going to do that 2 more times. So decrease and single crochet 2, that's twice. We'll do 1 more, decrease and single crochet 2, 1, 2. Next, we're going to do a combination of single crochet 1, increase, and we're going to repeat that 5 times. So single crochet, increase. That's 1. Single crochet, increase. That's 2. Single crochet, increase. That's 3. Single crochet, increase. That's 4. Single crochet, and an increase stitch, and that is 5. We're then going to do one more combination of decrease, single crochet 2. So decrease stitch and a single crochet 2, 1, and 2. So as you can see, we're starting to form the top part of the head with our increased stitches there. And at the end of row 9, you should have 39 stitches. So moving on to row 10, we're going to start off with a decrease, single crochet 2, and we're going to do that twice. So decrease and single crochet 2, 1, 2, so that's once. We're going to do that one more time. Decrease and single crochet 2, 1, 2. We're going to do 6 stitches along, 6 single crochets along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to do the combination decrease, single crochet 2, and we're going to repeat that 3 times. So decrease, single crochet 2, 1, 2, decrease, single crochet 2, decrease, single crochet 2. Then we're going to do a single crochet 2, increase. So 1, 2, and then an increase stitch. So 2 and 1. And then we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then to end off row 10, we're going to do a decrease single crochet 2. So decrease and 2 single crochets. And you should have 34 stitches at the end of row 10. Moving on to row 11, we are going to start increasing back up for the head. So to start, we're going to do an increase and a single crochet 2 combination, and we're going to repeat that twice. So increase, 1, 2, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets. Sorry, my yarn split there. So our increase, and then 2 single crochets. 1, 2. We'll do that one more time. Increase and 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Next, we're going to place 6 single crochets across the bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, we're going to do that combination of increase, single crochet 2 again, and we're going to repeat that 3 times. So increase, single crochet 2, 1, 2, so that's 1, increase, single crochet 2, that's 2, we'll do 1 more, increase, and a single crochet 2, that is 3. Next, we're going to place 10 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then to end off this row, we're going to do again an increase and a single crochet 2 combination. So increase, increase, and single crochet 2. And that is row 11 complete, and you should have 40 stitches at the end of row 11. Moving on to row 12, we are going to do 40 single crochets. So 1 single crochet in each stitch around. And that is row 12 completed. Moving on to row 13, we're going to do the combination single crochet 4, increase, and we're going to repeat that 8 times for a total of 48 stitches at the end of this round. So we'll start with our 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. So we'll repeat that 8 times. I'm going to complete this row off camera and I will meet you back here for row 14. All right, and that is row 13 completed. And this is what we're looking like right now. So for rows 14 and 15, so 2 rows, we're going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we're doing single crochet 48 for those 2 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I will complete rows 14 and 15 off camera, and then I will meet you back here for row 16. All right, and that is row 14 and 15 completed. Now moving on to row 16, we're going to do a combination single crochet 4, decrease. So we're going to start decreasing our head down to finish it off. So we'll do single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. We're going to repeat that 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease. And your stitch count at the end of row 16 should be 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. And that is row 16 completed. Now for row 17, we're going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch around for 40 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I will finish row 17 off camera and I'll meet you back here for row 18. All right, row 18, we're going to do the combination single crochet 3 decrease. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. Repeat this 8 times for a stitch count of 32 at the end of row 18. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. And that is row 18 complete. Moving on to row 19, we're just going to single crochet 32 around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And that is row 19 completed. And this is what we're looking like right now. Now, before we continue on with our final rows, we are going to stuff the body and we're also going to place our eyes. We're going to stuff the head, not the body. So I'm just going to take my fiber fill here. I personally like to stuff lightly prior to putting the eyes on, just so I can make sure that I get the right shape. So I'm just going to lightly stuff. Now for eyes, I'm going to be using these 8mm safety eyes. You can embroider eyes, you can use larger ones, smaller ones, whatever you prefer to do. So I'm going to be placing the eyes on rows 7 through 9. So it's going to sit about row 8. with a little bit overlap on each row. So I'm just going to count back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm just going to place my fabric pin kind of just in a general area of where I think I want my eyes to be on row 8. Now we want about 8 stitches in between these eyes. So I'm just going to move mine over a bit, just play around with it. Now we are going to be bringing the eyes in a little bit when we do the face shaping, so just keep that in mind, that just because they look really far out right now, we are going to be bringing them in. So I'm just going to replace this with my actual eyes. So I'm just going to push these in. I'm not going to secure them yet. Just going to put them in just so I can get an idea of what it's going to look like. And I'll place this one as well. So something like that. I may just move this one out a little bit more, maybe 1 stitch over. And just, those are guidelines, putting them rows 7 to 9 with 8 stitches in between. You just do what you think looks best. Just play around with it, move them around until you have what you like. I'm just going to add a little bit more stuffing just to make sure that that's looking what I want. Perfect. So once you have your eyes placed, I'm just going to remove some of the stuffing here, and I'm just going to place my backings on the ends here. Do the same on the other side. Just like that. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of stuffing in the snout here. Now the other thing that we want to add to the head is, if you're going to add a rattle, you want to add your rattle now. So I'm just gonna, and you kind of want it to be in the center surrounded by stuffing so the baby or whomever doesn't feel like that hard piece of plastic in there. So I'm just going to put one in there. I'm going to put a little bit more fiber fill on top, and then I will put another one in as well. I like to have 2 just because I find I like a little bit more rattle. And then with our stuffing, I just like to bring it out to the edges to make sure that we're in all the nooks and crannies of the head and make sure it's evenly stuffed. So just like that. And once you're happy with your stuffing, we will move on to the next step. So once we have stuffed our head and placed our eyes, we will move on. You will have more opportunity to stuff as we move on. So it doesn't have to be exactly how it's going to be, but just try and stuff the front as well as you can at this point. So moving on to row 20, we are going to be doing the combination single crochet 2 and a decrease stitch. So we're going to start with 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and a decrease stitch. I try and keep the stuffing out of the way so I don't crochet it into my project, but it can be hard to do that. To decrease, and we're going to repeat this 8 times, and our stitch count at the end of this row should be 24. 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, and that is row 20. For row 21, we're going to do single crochet 24. So 1 single crochet in each stitch around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all right, and that is row 21 completed. Now for row 22, we're going to do the combination single crochet and a decrease. Single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease. And once again, we're going to repeat this 8 times for a total stitch count at the end of this row of 16. So at the end of row 22, I'm just going to place my last rattle. I didn't want to stay in before, so I'm going to put that in now. And then I'm going to stuff again, because our next round is our last round of the head before we close off. So this will be pretty much your last opportunity to stuff the head. Just make sure I have it all how I want it to feel. All right, and once you're satisfied with that, we will complete the last row, which is just a decrease row. So we're going to do 8 decrease stitches around, so a decrease in every stitch, and your stitch count should be 8 at the end of this row. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to remove my stitch marker because I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to make a slip stitch into this next stitch over. I'll grab my scissors and I'm going to cut my yarn. And I'm just going to yarn over and pull through. And that is what we're looking like. We still have a tiny little hole here to fill up. Now you can do this step with a needle or with a hook. I find with this small of yarn, I like to use a hook. So I'm just going to put my darning needle on my yarn end here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go underneath each of the front loops of each stitch around. So there's going to be 8 stitches. And make sure you're only going into the front loop because you don't want to have gapping if you go through both of them. And then I'm just going to pull that tight, and that's going to close up that last round there. And then I like to just insert my hook again, and I'm just going to make a little knot here just to really secure that. And then I'm just going to weave in my ends here. I will cut that. And there we have our head completed. That's what the back looks like. So that is the head. Next, we're going to shape the face. So I just will grab 12 inches of the same color yarn that we're using for the body, or the head, sorry, and I'm just going to cut that. And I'm going to put it on my darning needle. And I just have a little bit of a smaller darning needle here that I usually use. Now what we want to do is we want to bring these eyes in slightly. So how to do that is we're going to insert our hook, or our needle, sorry, at the top inner corner of the eye, kind of like that. We're going to push that needle through to the other side in the same spot on the other eye. And you want to get as close as you can to that eye, and you're going to pull that through. So you should have 2 strands hanging down like this. With this strand that's still attached to your darning needle on your one eye, we're just going to go down to the bottom inner corner. So down a couple rows into the bottom of the inner corner here. And then we're going to push that down to underneath the head here through a stitch. And we're going to pull that through. Next, we're going to take the other side, the other eye, we're going to put that strand on our needle here. And we're going to do the same thing down in the bottom inner corner of the eye, and we're going to push it through one stitch over from where you are currently. Then we're going to pull that yarn, and it's going to bring your eyes inwards, if you can see. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but when you pull this yarn, it pulls, the harder you pull, the more it pulls in your eyes. So you just want to pull it until you're happy with where it's positioned. And then once you have it in far enough, you're going to just tie a knot on the bottom here. Now you're going to notice you're going to have a little indent on the bottom, but that's totally okay because that's going to be covered by where you attach your ring to the hippo. Once you have your knot done, just going to cut these ends here. And then we'll just weave these ends in. And that is how we bring the eyes in. All right, so once our eyes are shaped, we're going to place our eyebrows. Now, I'm just going to be using this kind of orange peachy color for the eyebrows. You can use whatever you want. You can even use the same color as the body if you prefer, but I kind of wanted a bit of an offset color. So I'm just going to start with, I put my yarn on my darning needle here, and I'm just going to insert my needle at the back of the head here. And I'm going to push it through. So you're pushing it through to one row beside the eye and kind of at the top corner, top outside corner of the eye. And just pull that through. Next, we're going to insert our hook up one row and over about 3 stitches. And we're going to insert it there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push it across to where we kind of think it should go on the other side in about the same spot. So you want it one row above where you think you're going to have it and 3 stitches over. And you can always move it if it doesn't seem right. And then we're going to insert the needle back down into the stitch right here. That's about 1 row away from the top outside corner of the eye again. And then I'm just going to push this through to the where I first inserted it into the same hole there. I'll pull that through. And there are the eyebrows. Once you're happy with those, I just like to tie a little knot, but very lightly, not too tight, or you'll pull your eyebrows really tight. And then I just want to cut the long one there. I'll just take my hook and weave in that end. If it wants to come with me here. There, weave in this stuffing that kind of came out. There you go. And there are our cute little orange eyebrows. Next, we're going to place our nostrils. Now, what we're going to do to start is we're going to take a fabric pin, just like this one, and we're going to kind of mark where we want the fabric pins to sit. Now, I kind of like mine to be around rows 2 to 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I kind of like it to be on the outside corner, almost in line with the eye. And then we also want about 8 stitches in between the two. So I'll just place that there and see how I like the look of it. And then you just move it around until you feel like it looks even. So I've just created one nostril just to show you what it's going to look like. And we're going to create the other one together. Now you want to have about 8 stitches in between the two nostrils after you've landmarked where you want them. So I will just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have about 8 there. So that's perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our color A yarn that we've been using and we're going to make a slip knot. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use this red fabric pin as our kind of hub for, we're going to work around this fabric pin about approximately 6 to 8 single crochets. Everybody's will be a little bit different. It's not a precise concept. So with my slip knot here on my hook, I'm just going to insert my hook underneath a stitch. And this stitch is just kind of right below my marker here. And I am just going to yarn over and pull through. And I'm going to yarn over and pull through both loops to make a single crochet. Just like that. So now I'm attached. Next, I'm just literally going to go around, grabbing stitches, making sure that this red marker is in the center. So this is going to be 3 single crochets. 4, 5, 6, I'm going to just take my needle out now because I'm basically done. I'm just going to do one more to connect these a little bit better. So 7, yarn over, pull through those 2. Now I'm just going to cut my yarn here. And I'm just going to yarn over and pull through. And I'm just going to pull that tight. And this is what we're looking like right now. We just have a bit of a circle of 7 single crochets. Now I'm just going to take these yarn ends and I'm going to tie a knot. And then I'm just going to put these on the darning needle. And I'm just going to put them right down below, and I am just going to push them down back towards where I put my other ones for my other nostril. Pull that through if it wants to come. There we go. And then once those are in the spot we want, I'll just tie another extra security knot basically, but not too tight, just like a very, very loose knot. And then I will take my hook and I just got to push that knot down into that stitch and weave in those ends. And there are your nostrils complete, your eyebrows complete, and your face shaping all done. And that is the end of part 1. Head over to part 2 to see the ears, the teething ring wrap, attaching it all together, and making the optional flower.